you lost all motivation to study, finding it impossible to stay consistent, wondering if you have chosen the longest, hardest route possible? Because same here. And if you are nodding along, stick around. This is not going to be another study 12 hours a day lecture or a success story. This is just me sharing what I discovered after months of trial and error. Look, I don't have universal answers that will work for everyone, but after countless failed attempts at maintaining a routine and quite a few breakdowns, I think I have finally found something that works for me. And maybe sharing my journey might help you find your way too. What's different this time? I have stopped chasing motivation. Instead, I'm focusing on consistency, even if that means studying for just an hour some days. I will be documenting this journey through weekly study with me videos and monthly journal videos. Because sometimes we need to look back to realize how far we have come. So the first step, the foundation, sleep, the game changer. Let me start with what turned out to be the most crucial element of all, sleep. It wasn't about me not being disciplined enough or not being a good student. It all came down to one simple thing, quality sleep. I realized I needed 7 to 8 hours of sleep to study efficiently. But here was the problem. Stress kept me awake at night, and failing to wake up early only added to that stress. So I made a decision that no matter how much sleep I got, I would stick to my routine religiously. The first few days were tough. I could not retain much information, but trust me, this consistency was key to fixing my sleep cycle. Number 2. Breaking the stress cycle. Remember this equation. Poor sleep leads to stress, that leads to poor performance, and that ultimately leads to more stress. Sound familiar? The only way to break this cycle was through an unwavering routine. Once my sleep improved, everything else started falling into place. Number 3. The hidden culprit. Bedtime revenge procrastination. Here's something I discovered about myself. I was falling into the trap of what's called bedtime revenge procrastination. During the day, I convinced myself that I hated studying, but that was not true at all. This preparation was making me knowledgeable, enabling me to participate in meaningful discussions, helping me become a social asset who could bring about change. So I had to stop being just another social media consumer, scrolling through reels for hours. Yes, occasional scrolling is fine, but when it becomes a habit, that's disaster. So this is especially dangerous for us aspirants. With limited access to the outside world, this form of entertainment becomes our only escape. Number 4. Mindful consumption. Here's what worked for me. I cleared all my search and watch history and started fresh. I made a conscious decision to consume only what nourishes me. Content that's relevant to my goals and adds value to my knowledge. Once I stopped seeing unrelated content, I barely missed anything. Number 5. Prioritizing myself. The biggest hurdle in maintaining consistency was my inability to prioritize myself. Rushing to answer every phone call, never saying no to plans, constantly molding myself to fit others' schedules, all while feeling guilty about it. This usually happens because we are not truly happy with ourselves. We fear being alone, which brings me to my next point, creating your own world. The need to constantly associate with others during this crucial time often stems from not being content with what we are doing. For me, it was not that I did not want to achieve my goal. I loved the destination, but I was not ready for the journey. Why? Because I was constantly exposed to social media showing me peers who were already earning, traveling, and seemingly living their best lives. And that's why comes my 7th point, the no phone zone and reconnecting with yourself. My solution? I deactivated all social media until I felt ready to accept my life as it is. But here's the important part. I did not just remove something, I added back what I had lost. I returned to dancing, picked up my ukulele again, and realized that working out was not a waste of time, it was essential for my well being. So, my 8th point, living one day at a time. Here's where I was going wrong. I kept focusing on the final day instead of the present. The root cause, expectations. I had created this perfect image of myself as the ideal student with the perfect routine. When reality did not match up, I would get disappointed, make a new routine and minor changes, try again, fail again. So, the next point, the mindset shift. Instead of imagining myself studying and reaching my goal, I started imagining myself already being the person I wanted to become. I lived like that for a few days, understood my natural rhythms, and then created a routine that actually worked for me. For my fellow school toppers, this one's important. Our habit of reading everything cover to cover, which served us well in school, becomes our biggest enemy here. I spent weeks perfecting one subject only to forget it all by the time when I came back for revision. The solution? Keep moving forward. Read everything without obsessing over retention. The sooner you can come back for revision, the better. Now, I focus on completing my subjects quickly and practicing MCQs. So to sum up, the simple but not an easy formula, my strategy boils down to this: consistency. But the key to consistency is this cycle: good sleep, good mood, good retention, self-satisfaction, focus on your world, repeat. Remember this beautiful saying, हारने वाले से तजुर्बा लो और जीतने वाले से प्रेरणा. So like I already said, I'll be sharing weekly study with me videos and monthly journal updates because documenting this journey helps us appreciate our progress. With gratitude comes grace, and that's what makes this journey worthwhile. Whether we succeed or fail, this journey teaches us something valuable. Success is momentary, but the journey shapes us. So let's make it count.